Yo, yo, yo! Peace and richest blessings. I hope you're having an amazing day. Sending you all the love, all the good vibes. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Burnell Washburn Podcast, episode number 9, I believe. This is 15-minute Friday, a quick dosage of inspiration, wisdom, and good vibes to help throw you into the weekend on a high note, or whenever you're listening to this, just to provide like a quick dosage of perspective altering awesomeness, because that's what we're all about here on the Burnell Washburn Podcast, is just sharing tools, techniques, strategies, mindsets, anything that can help you live a happier, more fulfilled life. That is my purpose, that is my mission, that's what I'm all about. So thank you for tuning in. Huge thank you to everyone who's been leaving reviews, everyone who's been sharing this on their IG stories, leaving comments on YouTube, whatever you guys are doing to spread the word. It is greatly appreciated. I'm trying to grow this tribe and impact as many lives as possible, but it's really not about the numbers. It's about growing the right audience and the right tribe of people that I want to spend my life with, and people that are on a similar frequency on the path towards the highest and best versions of ourselves. So let's get into today's episode. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. I'm just feeling amazing today, loving my life, feeling grateful. Man, I keep kind of slipping off path and losing sight of my frequency for just a brief second, and then I bounce back even stronger, and it provides more value for me to share, more wisdom for me to share with you guys. So today's episode is all about empowering questions. I'm going to share 15 questions that I wrote down for myself that I like to ask myself that can provide some framework for you to start asking yourself more empowering questions, because if you think about it, that's all that thinking really is. Thinking is just a series of asking and answering questions, mostly to ourselves. And like the triple OG Tony Robbins always says, the quality of your life is the quality of the questions that you're asking. There's also a book I want to recommend right off the bat called The Aladdin Factor by Jack Canfield. And I think he co-wrote that one with Mark Victor Hansen. They created the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and just the success principles. He was in the movie The Secret. Definitely a catalyst towards like the first wave of my self-development journey. And I read this book called The Aladdin Factor that really inspired me to start asking more questions, start asking better questions, and really showed me how much is possible with questions. So today I wanted to share 15 questions that I think will really help you out. And you don't have to ask yourself these exact questions in the exact way that I'm framing them or phrasing them. But this is more to provide some framework of how you could maybe think and like what types of questions you could maybe ask yourself on a regular basis. So, man, if we ask ourselves bad, disempowering questions, we're going to feel bad and disempowered. If we ask ourselves positive, empowering questions, we're going to feel positive and empowered. So the brain can't really help but answer questions. So when you say something like, oh, why does this always happen to me? Then it's going to give you reasons of why this always happens to you, and you're going to believe that story even more than you already do. If you say, why does my life suck? Or why is this happening? Or what, da-da-da-da, you know what I mean? Like, it's just you're going to get asked shitty questions, you get shitty answers. So the first question that I feel like is really empowering is, you can ask this in a lot of different ways, but something to the effect of, if money were no object, I would ... Or if money was no object, I would blank. Or if I had unlimited amounts of money deposited into my bank account every day, that's more than I could ever spend, would I still be doing this? Or if someone just gave me $20 billion, what would I do today? Or if I had unlimited amounts of money in my account, would I still be recording this podcast right now? Or would I be choosing to do something else? And for me, the answer is yes on this podcast. Like, this is not about the money. And more money would just help me do this podcast at an even higher level. So that's kind of how I choose what to spend my time and energy on. Because, like, we have this beautiful finite experience on this gorgeous planet, and as far as we know, we're only here once. Maybe we incarnate multiple times, and maybe there's billions of other planets that we go to, but for now, this is all that we know that we have, so let's make the most of it and spend our time in ways that really light our soul on fire. Spend our time doing the right things rather than just like chasing money or chasing ends or whatever. So obviously we all have to get by. Obviously we all have bills to pay and expenses to meet. But that doesn't mean that we need to do things that we hate in order to get that. It doesn't mean we need to work these soul-crushing, soul-numbing jobs forever. And I get it. Maybe you're in a position of your life right now where you might need to be spending some time on something that's not the most ideal, but that helps you do something that is ideal. It helps, provide some stable income so you can chase your dream on the side, or gives you that stability so you can actually take care of your family without being all stressed and worried, and you have enough time on the weekends or your time off to still do other things that you do enjoy. So I totally understand there's a balance there. It's more of just a way to look at things, and especially if you're self-employed or if you're an entrepreneur, you can easily get caught up in doing things that you think are going to provide the revenue that you need rather than what really lights you up. So if you had unlimited money, what would you be doing, or would you still be doing this? Question number 2, what would this look like if it were easy? Or how can I make this easier on myself? And again, I'm all about embracing struggles and challenges and doing things that are hard, and I love doing the hard thing. I love jumping in the cold shower because it's not easy and fun, but it's good for me. So I don't want it to get twisted there, but a lot of times we're just overcomplicating, overthinking, and making things too complicated. If we break it down into simple, easy chunks, we can take so much more action. We don't get so overwhelmed, and we find ourselves being a lot more productive and doing a lot more good things in the world. So whatever project or task you're working on, what would this look like if it were easy? Or how could I make this easy on myself? And it's just a fun little way to look at things, and sometimes that simple question can save us so much stress and overwhelm by just making it less complicated. Question number 3, what's one thing I can do right now that I would feel good about tomorrow? Or what's one good thing I can do in the next few hours that I'd feel really good about tomorrow? Again, any versions of these questions that you ask yourself is just an empowering way to look at it. So I ask myself, I actually have a few alarms that go off throughout the day. If you listen to every episode of the podcast, you've actually heard a few of them go off during the recording. So sometimes my 8:24 alarm at 8:24 p.m., it just says, what's one thing you can do right now that you'd feel good about tomorrow? And it forces me to stop what I'm doing and take one simple action that I would feel good about tomorrow, and that often transcends into more actions and puts me on a better frequency of serving my highest self and doing things that my future self would thank me for. So what's one good thing you can do right now, or one good thing you can do this week that you'd feel good about next month, or you can look at this a lot of different ways, but it's all about just what small action can you do that would propel you forward, that you would feel glad you did. Sometimes for me it's just I can pick my clothes out for tomorrow, so that's one less decision I have to make in the morning. Number 4, what are some things I love? If you're feeling down, this is such a good question to ask yourself. Maybe pull out a sheet of paper. What are some things I love? And you just start listing off. Well, I love hiking. I love birds. I love being out in nature. I love yummy, healthy food. I love dope movies. I love dancing. I love listening to music. I love podcasts. I love watching dope YouTube videos. I love hanging out with my homies. I love barbecues. I love, you start to flood the page or flood your mind with all these things that you love. Whether you're doing them right now or not doesn't really matter. You're just remembering that there's all these awesome things in life that you can potentially look forward to or be grateful for. So what are some things you love? Question number 5, I ask myself this on the regular, especially when I'm on a high vibe. I'll just find myself asking this without even meaning to. I'll be like, why is my life so amazing? So why is your life so amazing? You ask yourself that, and your brain starts to come up with all these reasons of why your life is amazing. I love asking myself that question right when I wake up in the morning. I jump out of bed, and as I'm making the bed, I'm like, why is my life so amazing? Question number 6 is really similar. It's just, why am I so blessed? Why am I so blessed? You're like, oh shit, because I'm breathing, because I have clothes to wear, because I have a house to live in, because I'm me, because my life is dope. I'm like, damn. Question number 7. I can't even read my own handwriting. I'm trying to start writing down notes for these podcasts so I can be more professional, but I'm still always coming from the heart. Okay, that's what it says. That's what I thought. What's one scary action I could take? So it's something that you might be scared to do that you could just courageously act on. I feel so good when I just take action on things that I was scared of. If I make that phone call that I was scared to make, or something that I've been avoiding or putting off or procrastinating, and I just take action on it, I feel like the highest and best version of myself. I feel like a beast. I feel like a badass, and I just want to do more good things that are scary and take more courageous action. Question number 8. What seeds can I plant that my future self would thank me for? So for me, like when I was super depressed and down like a couple years ago and just having like an off time, I was still planting seeds that I'm thankful for now. I remember writing like articles with affiliate links that I had no idea. I knew they weren't going to make me any money that day, and I was all stressed about money that day, but I planted a seed, and I knew I wasn't going to reap the harvest of that seed that day, but it felt good to plant something knowing that, hey, maybe in the future this will grow into something, and maybe I'll have some fruits to eat from this in the future. Who knows? I feel better about planting something than not planting something. Like there's that old cliche saying that says plant in the spring or you weep in the fall. So the more seeds you plant today, the happier your future self would be. Like me writing those affiliate articles, they were about things that I was passionate about and things I actually cared about, and so they were written from the heart. But now my my current self is thankful for those seeds that I planted because I'm making income every day off them. Every month I'm getting, affiliate income from articles I wrote 2 years ago. So it's just like, I'm glad I planted those seeds. And it makes me want to plant more seeds even if I don't think they're going to pay off today, because so often we're just looking for that instant gratification and that immediate payoff. So it prevents us from planting seeds. Like no one wants to, if you're hungry right now, you think planting a walnut tree is pretty stupid because it's going to take 15 or 20 years before you get to eat any walnuts. But guess what? In 15 or 20 years, you're going to be so happy you have that walnut tree. So plant that shit now. Question number 9. What's a small act of kindness or service that I can do today to make somebody else feel better? And again, you can rephrase these questions any way that serves you best. It's just a way to look at things. A small act of kindness or service that you can do right now. Maybe it's donate money. Maybe it's leave a nice note on someone's car. Maybe it's send a nice text out to someone. Maybe you go into one of your Facebook groups and you just post like last night, I'm a part of this little Law of Attraction Facebook group, and I just went and posted in there because I was like, oh, what's one good thing, act of service or kindness? And I had already done a few, but I wanted to do another one that day, and it was like, oh, I can just spread some love. I bet there's some people going through hard times. So I just said, hey, if you're going through a hard time, I just looked at my life, and I remembered that, like, all of my hardest times were directly followed by, like, my best times, so just trust there's going to be sun coming after this storm. And like I got so many people messaging me like practically in tears saying I needed to hear that. Thank you so much. And that was just a tiny little act of kindness or service where I could use my energy to make someone else's life better. And like a bunch of people read it at the right time and they felt really good about it. Question number 10. Does the best version of myself do this? Or how does the best version of myself do this? How does the best version of Burnell Washburn record this podcast right now? I stand up straighter, I breathe deeper, I speak from the heart with more conviction and more power. You can ask yourself that in any area of your life. How does the best version of Burnell Washburn put on my socks in the morning? How does the best version of Burnell drink this water right now? You know what I mean? Like any small how you do one thing is how you do all things. So ask yourself this question multiple times a day whenever you're doing anything. I always end up standing straighter and pulling my shoulders down and my chest up to open up my heart and lifting up my chin more anytime I ask myself that question, because I'm like, oh yeah, the highest, best version of Burnell Washburn just has amazing posture, breathes deep, and just lives like a badass. So I embody that version of myself now. Question number 11. What would I like to spend less time on? Or what would I like to spend more time on? Simple question that you can just think, oh, you know what? I'd really like to spend more time in nature and less time at my house. Okay, that's pretty simple. I can work that into my life. I might not have the tools and resources to make that happen this second, but I can just at least decide that that's how I would like to spend my precious time, my finite resource. You can always get more money, but you can never get more time. So, what would you like to spend more time on, or what would you like to spend less time on? Question number 12. How is this actually a blessing in disguise? Such a powerful question. Anytime you're going through any challenge, how is it actually a blessing in disguise? It'll help you reframe it in a positive way, because nothing has any meaning in the universe. It's all about the meaning you give it. Perception is reality. And if you just ask yourself, how is this a blessing in disguise? You'll start to view it as a blessing in disguise. Again, your brain will come up with answers to provide evidence on that of like, oh, it's actually a blessing in disguise because this is making me appreciate things more. This is making me stronger. Or this bad day is going to make my good days feel so much better because I just remember what it's like to have a shitty day, and when I'm having a good day, it's like that much doper. How is this actually a blessing in disguise? How are you going to become stronger from this? How is this going to help you impact more people? How is this going to be an empowering part of your story? I know we're running a little past 15 minutes, whatever. Question number 13 is, what would my higher self/future self tell me about this? Anytime you're looking for wisdom, the answers are within, yo. We don't need to go ask other people all the time. Like, I'm a huge fan of mentors and coaches and people that have a different perspective, but ask within first, always ask within. What would my future self tell me? If you were having a meeting with the highest, best version of yourself 20 years in the future that was just living the dream, what would that version of yourself tell you to do? Or how would that version of yourself, what would he tell you or she tell you to feel right now or think right now? For me, my future self often just tells me the simplest things of like, do this or do that, or just relax right now. Good things are coming. Just chill. Stop being so worried. Really empowering question to ask yourself. Again, I can't read my own handwriting. I wrote this so fast because it was like a brainstorm surge of inspiration that hit me. Am I doing my best, or how could I do better at what I'm currently doing? That's similar to some of the other questions we've asked ourselves. So just, am I doing my best right now? Or how could I do whatever I'm doing a little bit better? Simple, empowering. Question number 15. What's something I could be excited about if I knew I had some exciting things to look forward to, or if I knew my life was guaranteed to get better in some way? What's something I could be excited about? Because often when we're in a funk, it's like nothing is exciting and we don't like anything and we're just like, fuck everyone and fuck. So what's something that you potentially could be excited about if you were to be excited about something? And the last question I'm going to leave you with is a bonus question, question number 16. How could this be more fun? Or how could I bring more joy into this? Or how could I make this task more enjoyable? It's so simple and so fun. It's like if you're doing laundry and it's mundane and you're not in the best vibe doing it, maybe you could put on some fun dance music. I've been listening to some like classic vintage Latin dance music lately, and it's just like so vibey and so fun, and it can make anything more fun. Like, how could you, if you're mowing the lawn or shoveling your driveway, you could throw on some music to make it more fun. Or say I'm doing this podcast, I could make this more fun by lighting up a candle because I love candles and it smells good, and Makes me feel like I'm on a high vibe. So how could you make this more fun? There's just infinite ways when you ask yourself questions like that. How could I bring more joy into this? Damn, this episode's turning into like a 20-minute Tuesday already. But I like to talk a lot. That's why I have a podcast. These are just all empowering questions, and I'd love to hear you guys' versions of these questions. I'd love to see you guys asking yourself some of these type of questions in the comments or in the DMs or whatever. Just incorporate some of this type of thinking into your life, and I guarantee you'll see massive, remarkable results, quantum up-leveling, and just huge positive shifts in your life when you start to ask more empowering questions on the regular. So that concludes today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, please leave me a 5-star review if you haven't yet. Drop me a message or a comment on IG letting me know that you listened. Screenshot this, share it with some friends, and let's keep spreading the good vibes. Have an amazing rest of your day. Also, you can go to my YouTube channel if you need some more inspiration or some more good vibes. I got tons of videos there, and I'm also spreading inspiration and empowerment every day on my IG stories. So follow me over there at Burnell Washburn. I love y'all. Go ask yourself some empowering questions and have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.